Hey guys, I'm Jared. I don't know very many of you guys, so I thought I would go ahead and start off with this story. So this story is about me and my father. So me and my dad have never really been too close. In fact, we just have not had the best relationship because he's never really tried too hard to be a big part of my life. I remember specifically whenever it came to football games, like back when I was in elementary school, you would see all the dads, and they would be carrying helmets for their sons, right, after the games. They'd carry their shoulder pads and whatnot. And for me, it was always my mom. And I'd always remember, hey, why don't I have that? You know, why is my dad not here to cheer me on? Why is my dad not here for my graduation? He was on vacation with my stepmom. So there's just been, a lot of rocky moments in our lives and in our relationship. But anyways, by the end of junior year, I get a text from my mom in middle school, and she told me that my dad had been diagnosed with cancer. It was lymphoma, and the doctor said it was pretty severe. So throughout this whole period, he had to go back and forth to Houston for hospital visits for different, chemo and radiation and whatnot. There were times when my stepmom wasn't able to take him, and he couldn't really find other people to take him. So he would text me, and he asked, "Hey, Jared, would you like to take me to the hospital in Houston? Drive up there and spend some time with me." And for the longest time, I really struggled to I guess see if I really I guess I struggled to see if he really deserved me being there, if I really needed to be there for him, even though he wasn't there for me throughout my childhood. But I guess, my heart kind of changed. I guess you could say that was God, or you could say it was just me. But my heart changed, and I eventually told him, yeah, I'll take you up there. So I did this. I went back and forth to Houston about 3 times. And man, I can tell you that these were probably the best times that I had ever spent with my dad. But it was unfortunate because it was the times that he needed me the most, the times that he was really in need for something, right? When he decided, yeah, I'll be a good father. So, throughout those trips to the hospital, we had good conversations. For once, I finally felt like, hey, I got my dad back. And that was amazing. But eventually he got better, which is great. I loved it. That was awesome. And I remember getting back home so excited to spend this new life with my dad, right? This whole new experience, hoping that finally have both mom and dad both included a part of my life. And unfortunately, that did change whenever we got back home. Turned into his old self again. He wasn't as fatherly, just like in Houston. So this point that I'm bringing up is, as Christians, it's really easy to become loyal to God when it's most convenient for us or when we need Him the most. However, even when we break away from God, He is still loyal. And I think that's so awesome to see. It's like we can do so many things to just piss off God. I'm sure you guys can think of countless things. But man, we are forgiven, and He constantly is showing us this loyalty, even though we have constantly treated Him like crap throughout our lives, right? And this is the same way that I felt with my dad. Even though he kept treating me like crap, I still felt like I needed to be loyal to him, because I did still love my father, just like our Father loves us, right? So my first major point is aspire to be as loyal to God as He is to us. Deuteronomy 7:9 says, "Know therefore that the Lord your God is God, the faithful God who keeps covenant and steadfast love with those who love Him and keep His commandments to 1,000 generations." In Webster's dictionary, covenant means a formal agreement between 2 or more people. You see, this relationship, this sense of loyalty, this can't happen if both people aren't both being loyal to each other, right? The relationship is going to look a little funky. And I'm sure you guys all have friends. I'm sure your best friends are those that are most loyal to you. Because if they aren't, I mean, there's probably acquaintances or what, something. But anyways, think about the things that you're loyal to. Like your job, maybe school, sports, girlfriend, boyfriend, different clubs. Maybe it's your parents. Maybe you're just truly loyal to your parents. You know, I'm not that loyal to my parents, but I wish I was. But what do all these things have in common? You see, we've placed these things so high up on our list of priorities, right? These things are the most important things to us. My mom, I love her to death. This woman has worked her butt off to get me where I am. And I like to say that I'm somewhat loyal to her, but for sure there's times I fail her. But the thing is, she has a great importance in my life, so I show so much loyalty to her. Can you say you're as loyal to God as the things you make priority in your life, though? My second major point is that true loyalty takes devotion and sincere commitment. In the Bible, we see the name Peter a lot. Peter was one of the 12 disciples. You could say he was one of Jesus' best friends, right? He was very outspoken, like a young Mason Smith, maybe. You know, he preached a lot. You know, when he prayed, you were like, yep, that's Mason, right? That was Peter, right? Everyone knew that Peter was one that followed Jesus. He was very outspoken. But he had many personal failures. And we see it a lot in the Bible where he messed up. And one specific point is during the Last Supper, Jesus is feasting with the 12 disciples. And Jesus tells Peter that he was going to deny Jesus 3 times. We see this in Matthew 26, 33 to 35. Peter answered him, though they all fall away because of you, I will never fall away. Jesus said to him, truly I tell you, this very night before the rooster crows, you will deny me 3 times. Peter said to him, even if I must die with you, I will not deny you. And all the disciples said the same. But if any of you guys know this story, you will know that Peter definitely did deny Jesus 3 times. But how many times have we made promises to friends, maybe even our parents, right? Our parents, our friends and parents. We made promises, right? We made these commitments. How many times have we broken them? I know for me personally, that is something I've seen a lot in my life. I've broken so many commitments, so many promises that I've made to people. I've been very unloyal. But then we see that Jesus forgives Peter. He's resurrected, right? And Jesus kind of comes back, you know, the disciples are chilling and whatnot. Whatever they did back then, probably fishing, right? You know, he kind of goes up to Peter and he's like, hey bro, he kind of spit in my face, right? You know, you said that you would follow me. You said you wouldn't deny me. You straight up looked me in the eyes and said, I will follow you and I will not deny you. But you did. But you know what? Because I have this crazy love for you, I'm going to forgive you. And you know what? I'm going to ask you this again. Will you follow me? And Peter said yes. And it's so awesome because you see in the rest of the Bible, for the most part, Peter stays faithful to that. Peter helps a lot with the church. And it's so great to see that because of just that simple forgiveness that Jesus showed Peter, they were able to form a new relationship and an actual loyal relationship, right? A covenant, right? An agreement between two. And then this brings me to my third major point. To always remember that it's crucial to stay loyal to yourself as well. We've been wonderfully made, right? It talks about that a lot in the Bible. We all go through different paths. We go through high school, we go through college, and then it's the real world. But this may look different for all of us. There may have been goals that you have that I have different goals, right? But it's so easy for us sometimes to find friends or people that we hang out a lot with, and those paths start to change a little bit. Maybe you look back at your life now and you're like, wow, I did not expect this to be where I am. Maybe that's for the better, maybe that's for the worse. But the point is, stay true to yourself and don't stray away from the amazing person that God made you to be. Psalm 139:14 says, I praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Wonderful are your works. My soul knows it very well. And I love that. It talks about my soul knows it very well. I know for sure, man, there is a Jesus that has died for me. There's a Jesus that has loved me, that has formed every path that I'm walking on right now, right? Has planned out my life perfectly, has given me the talents that I need to succeed. I know that. I know that he's done it because this word says so. So stay loyal to that, right? Keep that in mind. Whenever you're struggling, whenever you're in college, college is hard. Honestly, I haven't lived it yet. But I know from a lot of upperclassmen already that if you don't protect yourself and stay loyal to yourself, then you will stray away from the person that you know you're supposed to be. So lastly, I want to encourage you to follow your arrow wherever it points and glorify God through that. Thank you.